Okay, here we go. Now, we're in this spot, right? We have our total monthly take home. This is what we are going to actually have to spend each month. I have about $1,800. And then we have our total expenses, right? My expenses exceed my income. I spend more money than I make. That's called a budget deficit, right? I'm running a budget deficit. If I made more money than I spent, that'd be called a budget surplus, right? You'd be shocked how many people actually run a budget surplus. That money gets any sort of deficit money gets end up putting on a credit card where they pay a ton of interest. We'll talk about all the interest in investing and the credit unit, but yeah, it's a downward spiral. So I can't stress how important budgeting is to know exactly how much money that you bring in after taxes, your net, and also how much money you spend, and to watch that spending. So we are going to do two things. There are literally two things that you can do to fix a budget. And this is one of the main objectives of this lesson, to learn that there are two things that you need to fix a budget. Or there's really only two things you can do. Number one, you could make more money, right? You could make more money. So that might involve a number of different things, but we have our starting entry-level annual salary. We're not going to get paid any more than we are currently getting paid, so that number's pretty much fixed there. So there are a couple other things that you could do on your income sheet, but I really stress the easiest way to fix the budget is the other side of it. The other side of it is to spend less money. So make more money or spend less money. I'll write that in there so you guys know. We make more those are the two ways to do it. It's not fun. It's not fun. So we'll start over on the expenses. And I do ask that you have everything documented that you might want to fix. So we have our budget fixes. We're going to list out everything that we fix from this. All right. So starting out, $358, that's a pretty good car payment. I should probably, to be completely honest with you, that's where I would start with my budget fix. I would absolutely start with a car payment. I would try to get that thing down around about $200. If you could get, if you get that thing around $200 or even $250, that would be a really nice place to start. Okay, so start with your car payment. That means you're going to have to go back to your information sheet. That means that you're going to probably have to update all of this information here. Again, we did some of the calculations on the information sheet, so it should populate it pretty quick. You can go calculate another car payment. Again, new cars at 4%, used car at 6%, but that's going to be pretty easy. So I'm not going to go through. It would take a while. You guys have time in class to do this, but let's say I take my car payment down to $225, right? And we put a formula in here, so it's going to automatically update, right? Damn, boom, $2,700. I got $900 to go. Okay. Apartment rent, I would probably do this second. This is going to be number 2 for me. I would go through. Now I'm going to allow you to have a roommate. Okay. Now I'm going to allow you to have a roommate. So budget fix number 1 was bought a cheaper car. Budget fix number 2, got a roommate. Right? But now I need to go find a 2-bedroom apartment. So I'm going to go back to my information sheet. I'm going to go, okay, let's say Ramsgate has 2-bedroom, 2-bath places available. So I'm going to update this information. It costs more. 2-bedroom apartment costs more. We'll say it's $900. Again, look it up. Find your stuff. Don't just copy from my stuff. I want you to go find your stuff. But 900 divided by 2, right? Instead of paying $725, I'm now paying $450. And look at my total expenses, right? We're crushing it. We're making stuff up. Or we're making money up. Okay, we're spending less. Food, you know what? $200. I just graduated from college. I think I can live a little bit on the cheaper side, maybe like a college student for a little bit longer. So maybe some more macaroni and cheese instead of cooking filet mignon. So I'm going to go, I think I can trim $50 off of the food budget. I think I can really do that. So we'll say Trimmed food budget $550. Right? Again, don't get too crazy with it because, I mean, you're still going to need to eat, right? You're still going to need to eat. We're not stealing food from anybody or any place. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Our gas bill, our electric bill, hey, we have a roommate now. We probably will use a little bit more in gas and electric, but it's okay. We'll cut those things in half as well. Not to $2. Down to $25. Down to $25. Again, gas bill and electric split. Okay, and you can kind of see the way that we're trending with these. So these get cut. You don't have to highlight them. I'm just highlighting them for you. Cell phone, maybe that means you need to go down to the more basic package. That cuts $25 off. Netflix, we'll see at the end to determine. I would probably cut cable out. I think that's real easy. Nothing you can do about health insurance. We need health insurance. Pretty much nothing you can do about toiletries. I mean, those are things that are just kind of fixed in there. Spending money, that number can absolutely be cut. So look into spending money. Clothes, maybe down to necessities. You can definitely cut out a vacation. Your tags and title, remember tags and title is going to be updated. If you bought a cheaper car, your tags and title is going to be cheaper. Also, you'll have to refigure your gas and maintenance and insurance. Remember with maintenance, the older the car, the more you pay in maintenance. And in insurance, the higher the value of car, the more you're going to pay in insurance as well. So as you cut that number down, and I'll give you guys auto insurance numbers as you guys get closer. So number one, look at your expenses sheet. Cut out unnecessary things from your budget. That's what you have to do. That's what we're going to start out doing. Okay. You could even, I could even decide that I'm going to go to Johnson County Community College for 2 years and then Kansas State for 2 years. That would probably save me $10,000, if not more. I think it's $6,000 to go to Johnson County Community College, whereas $10,000 a year at K-State. So that's actually saved me $14,000 on my student loan payment. Nothing I could really do about grad school. That was kind of the way it is for my increase in pay, and I needed that. So you can absolutely do that. Maybe you picked Alabama, that's $40,000 a year, or Iowa, that's like $42,000 a year to go there out of state. So maybe you want to pick more of an in-state tuition. And remember, my basically any college, in-state, public university, you could say it's $40,000. I think Emporia State, Pitt State, Fort Hays State, a couple of those schools are a little bit cheaper, so look up those numbers. But KU, K-State, we're sitting right there at about $40,000. That's 4 years, $10,000 per year. Okay, so start out with the expenses. If you get through all the expenses and you are still struggling, right? I should absolutely cut this. I don't have as much money for that. I'm probably not going on vacation because I can't even pay my bills. Spending money, I'm still going to want some spending money, but I'm going to cut it down. And again, document all the different things that you do. If I get down here and I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm spending $2,200. I'm still like $400 short. Okay, that's where the income statement comes in. This is your other budget fix. You can actually start some sort of side hustle, get a weekend job. I remember when I started working right out of college, actually after I got my teaching certificate, I substituted at St. James Academy, usually about 3 days a week. And 2 days a week, I had a permanent sub job in the Turner School District, so I was getting sub pay 5 days a week. I also had a full-time job at a restaurant that I worked 5 nights a week, so I was working approximately 80 to 90 hours, but I was making a whole bunch of money too. And you know what's great about working a whole bunch is that you don't have any time to spend your money because you're always at work. Hard to spend money at work. As a teacher, it's really difficult to harness your spending over the summertime. That's another good reason to have a budget. So, things you could do for budget fixes. These are just things that I've done throughout time. These are going to be logical. Don't say like, oh, I'm going to get a second physical therapist job, because that's probably just not going to happen, right? So let's be realistic about it. So we're talking about things that you can do on the side, things that you can do at nighttime, things that you can do as some sort of hustle, side hustle. So things that I have done, so I've coached football. That comes with a stipend to coach football. I've coached golf. That comes with a stipend to coach golf. It's not a ton of money, but it is a little bit of extra income. I've given pitching lessons to some little kids before. I was a pitcher in college. My wife and I started a t-shirt printing business, so we printed t-shirts. That also comes with a whole set of expenses. You got to buy a press and t-shirts and prints and so on and so forth. So kind of like Mr. Wahlberg does. We don't print t-shirts anymore, but for a while we made quite a bit of extra income doing some t-shirt printing. You could wait tables. I've done scoring for bowling. I still do scoring for bowling. It's a bunch of fun. I've done scoring for basketball games, so on and so forth. You get the idea. And then it would be to try to come up with a reasonable amount of money within a month that you could possibly make. Take out taxes. You might as well just, again, with me, I left off at the 25% tax bracket, so I would probably just take that money and multiply by 0.75. So I'd multiply it by 0.75. So I make sure to account for taxes. So if, let's say I had, let's say they pay me $3,000 to coach football. That's a lot. I don't think that's really true. So you take $3,000, you multiply it by 0.75. Maybe I should just put in 0.75 and $22.50, and then also I would take that number and I would divide it by 12 because we're not going to get it all in one shot. So it'd be another $187.50 per month that I could add to my total monthly take home. Okay, so if you do all that, again, budget fixing, start with expenses. Cut down your expenses as much as you can, bare bones. And then if you really need to, head over to your income sheet. The idea is to get to a budget surplus where you are making more money than you are spending. Okay, good luck. Spend some time on it. Thanks.